Hey, Matt. How are you?
Nicholas, nice to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Well, for the listeners, super excited to be here. Actually, we have a special announcement, or probably for the one that are here and listening, they already know that. We finally got our access back to the podcast, the audio podcast. I had some technical issue for a couple weeks, but now we got it back thanks to the amazing team at Spotify, and hopefully you're listening from Spotify today. So anyway, so that was the short quick thing. But today we're going to be talking about four topics about live stream and video commerce. Obviously, some big news at HSN QVC. We're looking at SEO and AI and what's going on in the HubSpot world. You may have heard the stories going on there. We're going to talk about X and Bluesky and some of the innovation going on with video there. And then we're going to be talking about the announcement, YouTube and Wix. What is going on? Matt, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready to go, pal.
Let's go. All right, everybody, this is Nico with eStream.me, the company that gets you live stream on video, on your website, social media, email, wherever your video is, it becomes shoppable. So excited to be here. I'm with my great friend and host, Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And as we say, Matt, a lot of things been happening this week with QVC and HSN. But before we go there, why don't you get us started with what this show is about, and then get into the first story.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you. And thank you to the viewers and the listeners. This is the VCommerce podcast. We talk about everything related to video commerce. What is video commerce? Started with direct response television, graduated into QVC and HSN, which have been around for 40 plus years. And now it's through social, website, and pretty much any app or any device that you have, your phone, your tablet, your computer, your TV. So video commerce is an amazing extension to the e-commerce world, and Nicholas and I are deep in the trenches of the video commerce world. So we cover a couple topics here. We try to spend 15 to 20 minutes, no more, in kind of updating everyone into what's happening this week. And this week, again, is no shortage of news. This year so far, and finally January is over tomorrow. It seems like this month has lasted for five months. January 30th, it's January 31st. Thank goodness. Tomorrow's February 1st. But the biggest news in my world, I work through QVC and HSN, my brand, are representatives through those websites and through those channels. And they made a big announcement where their sister company, QVC's sister company, HSN, is moving from St. Pete, Florida, up to QVC studios in Westchester, Pennsylvania. So what does this mean to the viewer and the consumer at HSN? Probably nothing, but for everyone that works through HSN and through QVC, this was an alarming decision that Curated had to make, and they're going to combine resources, combine studio space, and by the report said by the start of the third quarter, they're both channels and both networks will be out of the same studio space in Westchester, PA, which is about 40 minutes outside of Philadelphia. So many ramifications from this, Nicholas, with what happens with not only the employees and the talent, with the host and the guests, but the brands that work through these channels. There's going to be an evolution of change that's going to happen in 2025. Not surprising from my end and our end, because Curated's been making a lot of big splashes. Seems like a yearly kind of a thing where they're cutting costs and making really smart business decisions in trimming their model. But this is absolutely the biggest decision they've ever made. HSN has been in St. Pete, Florida for, I think, at least 45 years. It might be even older. So this is alarming for everyone that works through through HSN. And then through QVC, they've got so many studios at QVC in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's an amazing studio and office space. They're just going to partner and join with that. So you're going to be getting HSN broadcast, QVC broadcast, QVC2 broadcast, HSN2 broadcast, host and guest, different categories kind of coexisting.
I think I think if
theoretically at the start of the third quarter.
if you think about what's happening with QVC, HSN, and some of the recent announcements where they're trying to get into social commerce more and more, I think that's kind of an interesting dynamic too, right? Where I think this is an organization that's realizing that, well, TV is still there and we need to cherish it, but we need to be more agile and being able to produce more content that is where the user is. And they have made the big announcement, a couple months ago, we were talking about this, where they were trying to get into the TikTok and all those other parts of the world. And so I think in this big dynamic of reshifting their effort toward new media, I think it's interesting. I still don't quite understand why they shut down their app. You remember, like, they had this the Sune app. I don't quite understood, like, considering that one of their focus is going there, and like why they're killing their. I mean, I could understand why. Is probably because they were not profitable and it was a drain, and it's very, very, very difficult to build your own environment. But now So I just found it so fascinating what's happening in this space. There's a lot of I'm very excited and very curious to see what's the next task.
And HSN moving into QVC space is not the only part of the news. They've announced that they're going to get more involved in the TikTok and Instagram Live, Facebook world. They're going to change their set dynamics. I think they're going to have outside vendors coming in and using their either the platform and their studios, or just their studios, like rented space, to broadcast from their beautiful studios with all their cameras and everything else. It's an evolving it's an evolving business model.
Yeah.
The announcement that was just 2 days ago, they announced this on Wednesday, very timely, because their earnings report is due on 2/27. So at the end of February, they're going to come out with their fourth quarter earnings report. The last few years, they've reported negative numbers. They're still making millions of dollars. It's a profitable business, but it's not growing the way they expect it to grow. So it's been evolving. So they're cutting these costs, selling off some buildings, things like that, to make their bottom line look better. But it's going to be interesting. And I've been saying this entire month, and the month has lasted forever. But like 2025 is going to be really, really game changing in video commerce. This is just one of many, many, many things that are going to happen this year in this space.
Yeah, definitely an earthquake in your world. It's not so much on my own world, but certainly something I watch with close attention and super curious about. Now, talking about earthquake, definitely not in both of our world, but I don't know if you heard about this, but basically there has been this interesting argument about, is SEO dead? And so we got this Ryan Law, who is the director of content marketing at Ahref, which is basically a software that help you categorize your content and tracking your SEO performance and all that. They look at the HubSpot blog, and as you can imagine, HubSpot is probably the leading player out there in terms of SEO. They know how to make this happen and everything. And if you look at the curve, for the one that are not watching right now the video, they starting tracking in 2015, and obviously they were low. And from that moment all the way up to October of last year, it's been kind of a really steady growth with 10 million of viewers, of organic viewers a month, coming every month to the website. There's pretty substantial number of traffic coming from SEO and organic traffic. But then if you look October to all the way up to January, then they had like a big dip where they lost about 2.5 million of organic views. And then January to today, so all these months, they lost about an additional 5 million viewers. So now they are 2.5 million organic views. It's actually pretty staggering. And so the argument on the web has been, well, the AI is stealing all their all the ranking and all the search and everything. And part of that is true. So I went on with this blog post, which is a pretty fascinating blog post. If anyone is interested, I can certainly that. It's from Aleida Solis and on search optimization. And she's like, okay, she went on and diving into what happened to the blog spots. So first of all, there has been a lot of core change from the algorithm that has impacting SEO search overall. But what's super interesting is like if you look at the HubSpot overall blogs and what is being searched is really like random thing that have nothing to do with HubSpot. So like famous quote or resignation later. So they had a lot of those blogs, articles that were like clickbait. And basically with the new kind of AI and how AI is ranking things, as well as how Google is with a new release, they're really looking at more like, is the content really relevant for what you're actually offering? And so does it make your website more like a clickbait website, or does your site is actually a voice of authority in this space? And so because of that, HubSpot has been killing some of those clickbait blog purposefully to really improve the quality overall of their all blog infrastructure, so they are better ranking in Google in chat search and all that stuff. Because something that maybe most of you, if you're on the web and are exploring those things, I personally spend a lot of time on similar web. One of the things that I see is that now a lot of websites, 15 to 20% of their organic traffic is coming from Perplexity or ChatGPT and so forth. And so I think like anyone else, HubSpot being the leader in this space, they are trying to figure out like, okay, how do we please those source of revenue, because that is certainly or source of content. So because that is certainly, the chatbot are certainly a place where people are going to now. So I just found it fascinating. This whole SEO world and organic world is changing at such a rapid pace too, that everyone is scrambling to figure it out. But I just found it fascinating where you have a website, you have 10 million visitors coming for free every month to your website, and now you have 2.5. What does it mean for your business line? Well, in this case, apparently it doesn't mean much because it was clickbait, but still, it's very scary.
Well, you mentioned algorithm, and like TikTok has, since they've come back after they were down for whatever, 18 hours or something, their algorithm has changed. I don't get the same feeds that I used to get prior to last Friday. Algorithms drive the whole thing. So SEO changing amongst all these other changes with AI's advancement is not a surprise. If they're getting rid of the clickbait kind of things and the trash in the search experience, and I'm all for it. No one, I'm archaic and looking things up through Google. I know it all happens through AI. It's just an evolving. It's a constant evolving story of how SEO is changing and how the search world is changing, and how these brands. When we talk about social selling, how brands get exposed through these SEO and search AI dynamics.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So the next story, Matt, is about a social platform that you quite like, especially the name of it, right?
No, you're talking about X and Bluesky. Yeah, I was calling it Bluesy all morning. X and Bluesky adding video feeds to their sites makes complete sense. This feels like a sprint. I don't want to say marathon, but like it's a sprint with all these companies trying to get into this TikTok Shop world, not knowing what's going to happen, seeing the results of what TikTok Shop had in social selling, and all getting involved. So the video is king. I think we preached that pretty well on this show. And now X is involved, and the other websites are getting involved. YouTube's exposure is growing through social selling. Everyone's trying to get that market share, the TikTok Shop market share, or at least expand the opportunities for people to work through social selling and just using video as a platform.
Yeah, video is the platform. I don't think the argument that X is making, or at least not like publicly statement, and same thing for Bluesky, that they are going after social selling, right? I think the point is X has acquired a long time ago a company called Wine. They shut it down after 4 years of running them. And the idea is that let's bring it back. So and maybe I'm assuming that they're going to play with the algorithm to make it more like, are they going to make a TikTok-like experience? We don't quite know, but that's certainly interesting. I think right now the play is around like, let's bring shoppable, let's bring just video altogether as a way to consume content in a much easier way than it is today. because you obviously you can still view video on those platforms. It's just that it's from inside a post, and now they're trying to create a feed of video. I found it very fascinating. Now, I will say, to your point, Matt, Linda Yaccarino, I hope I say her name right, which is basically the CEO of X, also announced actually 2 days ago that they partner with Visa to create for the Everything app, to create the X money. And the idea is that they are first going after microtransactions. So I can wire like Venmo, basically, Matt. If we both are on the app and you want to send me $5, I can send you $5 and vice versa, and then it's connected to my bank account. And they're using the Visa Real, Visa Direct for doing that. So it's really peer-to-peer payments. Interesting. I'm assuming, if payments is facilitated and available now on the platform and something that people use, and they have video, now I guess we will know what the next step is probably going to be, right, by bringing on commerce. But I just found that those two news are correlated and quite fascinating at the same time. Certainly X is progressing at a very fast pace. They have been not shy of saying that they want to be that super app like they have in China, and I think no one has really cracked the code on that. And so it could be quite interesting if they are actually able to do that, because it's going to alleviate, create an enormous amount of wealth. I can't wait to have them being able to create maybe some application on top of what they're doing. So that'd be amazing.
I had a great conversation with a friend of mine that works in finance, and we were talking about ByteDance and TikTok this week, and we were talking about the U.S. user being cautious with their data, and the data going to China. And then he's like, "Well, you know who owns your data now? It's X, and it's Microsoft, and it's Meta, and there's a reason why if you have an app open and you say, I want to get a burger today, that all these burger ads pop into your social feed, because Zuckerberg hears what you say, obviously. So we haven't owned our own algorithms, since the dawn of the internet. So this is all part of the game. Unfortunately, the user doesn't dictate the algorithm, and that's the unfortunate part. You're pushed towards things that you might not necessarily be want to be pushed towards. So the SEO changing over, the algorithms. We talk about algorithms and where is it driving you and everything. It's just part of the world today, but it's just 4 or 5 companies owning which direction you're swimming in. It's crazy.
Love that. Well, the latest news that I want to bring it up is YouTube, and I think you brought that up very briefly. But YouTube is it's not so much YouTube; it's actually Wix that is trying to get into YouTube by making us an integration with them to boost their social shopping. Wix is probably not the merchant that everyone think of when we talk about commerce. They're really in the low tail of the e-com merchants. So they're really working if you're a solopreneur and have a boutique stuff, if you maybe you have an Etsy store, and then you also maybe have your Wix website, right? So that is the kind of merchant they're going after. Wix as an organization going after YouTube. I think it's a recognition that a lot of those solopreneurs are also content creator in a way, and by giving them tools to enable to drive transaction, I just found it fascinating, right? This low tail of creators that have some micro audience and that are now being able to manage and manage that with Wix. Just found this to be quite interesting. The last one that YouTube integrated with was with Shopify, and so which maybe make more sense because Shopify it's a much dominant more player and they have bigger merchants. But it's interesting to see that YouTube has not made an announcement that they partner with a commerce cloud or any of those bigger platforms to go after the high-end. They really are going after where the mass is, and it probably makes sense. So just find it fascinating that this kind of integration are happening.
Nicolas, let me ask you, and you might know this or top of your head. I've talked to 2 different groups of people today, and I talked to a friend today that's adding content to YouTube purposely, and she has been for the last few months. I talked to a company yesterday about creating a show for YouTube, directly for YouTube, and then maybe sharing it across other social platforms. in my opinion, YouTube, I use YouTube as an interface on the computer. I don't use it as a moving app like I do for all the other ones, because the platform is just too busy. I'd rather look at it on a big screen. Do you think YouTube followers and the core YouTube customer, or whatever you want to call them, watches it on their apps, on their phone, or on their interface? And how will that relate to social selling?
Yeah. So I think you have an interesting point, right? We know that there has been a big growth from YouTube on directly the TV, right? So as a substitute to TV, people are watching YouTube. I mean, my kids, they don't watch TV. They don't watch any of the streaming platform like Netflix or anything. Just go to YouTube, just select the show that they want to watch, and they'll be watching there. Yeah. So I think we're really into that space. Very interesting there. The short are super popular, right? My kid will watch a lot of short but on TV also. So I don't know. I'm assuming YouTube is very well aware that they are predominantly, a big screen type audience. But I don't think they are completely dismissing the short screen. And I think the best example is their short, and short are getting a ton of traction. It's only vertical. So the best experience is really when you get it on your mobile. So I don't think they're completely unsalient to the experience and what that provides to them. So I don't have a clear answer, but I think they're playing both game and they're pretty good at it.
You can't argue their success. I'm just talking about the interface itself. If social shopping really happens on the mobile device, and these other apps are very user friendly on the mobile device, will YouTube change their format, change the look of the website? Or do they
think of it, right? What's happening, right? You do have both devices when you're watching YouTube anyway, right? So you're watching YouTube on your TV, and then you probably have your phone on your end, and you're probably browsing, right? We were talking about this, like not paying attention too much about what's happening on TV, and so all YouTube has to do is to make sure that, not make sure, but like find a way to make them the second screen. And when you're on the second, and if they own the second screen too, now that second screen can be ad, they can be product, they can be other things that are somewhat tied to each other, and then all of a sudden they own your attention, right? So
isn't that crazy? You're saying they should be going for the second screen. That should be a goal of theirs, which is absolutely true. I hardly ever sit in front of the television, no matter what I'm watching, without something on my lap. And
that's where they need to be, right? I mean, that's what they need to own, right? If they own that second screen, then basically that's you own the card, you own the credit card, you own the user attention, and then if you deliver what they want for that second screen, and you deliver it in a smart way. And I think that's one of the reasons when you, for instance, you go on your phone and you go to YouTube, the audio doesn't kick off right away from your mobile if you go there, right? It's not like I'm assuming the idea is it's not like when you go on YouTube on TV, when you play on, boom, the audio gets on. I think it's like you don't want to be disturbed by having two audio on your second screen,
right?
So I think there's like some play around that, and but there's certainly some dynamic of like YouTube looking at figuring out a way to own that. I mean, they brought in community, they brought in all the stuff. So how do you augment the experience from that first thing you're watching there? So
yeah, it's interesting. It's evolving, as we keep saying.
Yeah. All right, Matt. It's been 23 minutes. Oh my God, it's still way too long as usual. Sorry for being here. But thanks for all the listeners that have come to the live and say hi. We'll love to seeing you. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Lou, for being here, and some of the others more anonymous folks that also shared the news and stuff. We are here every Friday, and hopefully today is the first day we're bringing it back to the podcast on the live e-commerce podcast. And the good thing is, like, I think we will be able to bring on the video. So hopefully we'll bring the video directly to the pod on Spotify. So let's tune in for that, see if it works. I'll let you know next week. But yeah, we are here every Friday. As usual, feel free to share, tell your friends if you like this show. If you want to reach out to us directly, you can either on eStreamly or on E6 Marketing. Reach out to us, ask for more show, more info, whatever. We are here for you. Thanks, everyone. Matt was great. And I guess I'll see you again next Friday.
See you next week. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.